And we got peeps here, we got peeps there, we got peeps everywhere. So if you want some of these peeps in your home, let's get peeping. Using a sign that I got for cheap at Hobby Lobby and some mint Rust-Oleum paint, I painted the frame and took a piece of burlap that I also got from Hobby Lobby and cut it out to the size to fit inside the frame. I pulled out my low temp hot glue gun and glued down the corners of the burlap in each of the corners of the frame. On Amazon, I purchased 3 peep cookie cutters that I could use for different crafts, like making fake peeps or just using them to trace out a peep, like I am doing here. I used the paint Yellow Flame, Key West, and Lilac Mist from Apple Barrel. Once I traced the peeps, I took the yellow, blue, and purple paint and coated the peeps so that there was no white of the paper showing through. I used burnt umber paint from Apple Barrel to dot some of the eyes and noses on my peeps. Once the eyes and nose completely dried, I used some Mod Podge and covered the peeps so that I could take some of my fine iridescent glitter and coat them so that they will be sparkly in the effect of sugar. And then I took some spray Mod Podge and sealed it. Were cut out, I took my low temp glue gun and glued them evenly spaced on the bottom side of my picture frame on the burlap so that I will have room at the top to add some words. I used my mom crickets to make a stencil and then took my weeding tool and wet out all the letters so that I will be left with just the piece of vinyl that I can peel off and stick to the burlap to use as a stencil. I stuck the stencil to the top half of the burlap and then had to remove the centerpieces of the other letters and individually place them where they are supposed to go onto the letter. I wanted my letters to be pink, so I used some Princess Pink paint from Apple Barrel and a makeup sponge brush and dabbed on top of the stencil to create pink letters on my burlap. Now just decorate however you want with it. Moving along to the next craft, I am making wooden peep signs. These signs retailed for about $3 and I took off partly most of the stickers and painted the backs with some Yellow Flame paint from Apple Barrel to give it a nice base coat. This is a similar step from what I did in my previous video to make the personalized peep sign. previous video, I used the iridescent glitter to act like sugar because I didn't have any words on the Peep stomach that would take away from the design. Before adding the glitter and Mod Podge, it would have been smarter to paint the sides and the back of my Peeps, but I don't know what I was thinking, so just keep that in mind. Once again, I'm using burnt umber paint from Apple Barrel to paint on the eyes and the nose to my Peeps, and then voila! Decorate however you like. The next people on the Peep train are the silly Peeps, so let's make a sign for them. First things first, I picked up 2 of these wooden circles from the crafting square at Dollar Tree, as well as one of these ceramic candlesticks from Dollar Tree. This is also an old wooden sign right here that my mom didn't need anymore, so I decided to add some good purpose to it, and I also used a circle flat wooden base. Before attaching my signs, I took some lightweight spackling and filled the holes in the ornaments from the crafting square, and then I attached it with some E6000. I should have added some hot glue to combine them at the time being, but I came back the next day and let it sit. Meanwhile, we can work on the main focus of this, which is the silly Peep sign. Taking a makeup sponge and some Waverly white chalk paint to coat the sign. Once the sign was coated, I took the smallest Peep in the set of cookie cutters and traced 3 of them on my sign. And then I took some Princess Pink paint from Apple Barrel and some Yellow Flame paint from Apple Barrel and also some Lilac Mist paint from Apple Barrel. And then coated the Peeps with those colors. It did take several coats because the pencil line was very dark compared to the light colored paint. Fast forwarding to the part where I made another stencil, but this time I typed in Silly Peeps, Easter is for Jesus, because Easter is for Jesus. Needless to say, in order to get nicer cut lines, I took some satin Mod Podge and just painted it on the sign in every which direction. It does tell you to use the matte Mod Podge, but I didn't have that on hand, so I thought satin would just do the same thing, and it did. But needless to say, after coating it with the Mod Podge, I took some chocolate bar paint for the eyes and noses of my Peeps. I decided to go for Key West words on this sign, so I took the Key West paint from Apple Barrel and just did a few coats of that onto my stencils. Once the stencils and the paint are all dry, just remove it and the Peeps have their own sign to be showcased on. I mean, how cool is that? I took some white Rust-Oleum paint and painted the stand for the Peeps to be sitting on just so they could have a little bit of elevation. And then next up is the Peep Garland. The method I used to paint the wooden beads for the garland, I just took an old slime container, added some Princess Pink paint into it, and kept shaking it up. I did this a few times over and over again, dumping it out onto a towel, drying it, and then putting it back in for another shake. Eventually you'll get this beautiful vibrant color and you'll still be able to see a little bit of the wood showing through, which is gorgeous for the Easter season. I decided to go with the pattern of turquoise, yellow, pink, green, purple, and white. Now it's time to make the finishing touch to this garland, which is the clay model magic, which helped me make the silly Peep named Fred. I took the middle-sized cookie cutter, rolled out the clay, and stamped my cookie cutter onto the clay. And then I also added an eye hook into it just so I would be able to attach it to the string later on, and then set this aside for about like a day or two. Using the famous Peep color Yellow Flame, I decided to paint my foam Peep this color because, I mean, why not? It is the perfect Peep color. This Peep is dry, but it feels a little bit like marshmallow and fluffy because that's just how model magic dries, and that's why I decided to use it as Peep because it feels more like a Peep to the touch. Using the paint chocolate bar, I decided to add on the eyes and the nose to the Peep just to make it look like a Peep. And then I coated it with Mod Podge just so none of the paint would chip and it won't get damaged when it's being thrown around in all my decor. That is it for all the Peep signs in this video. I hope you like them and that you will recreate them in your home just like I did for my home. And thank you for watching this video. Keep it up and give it a big like so that I can make some more videos for you guys to watch. Bye everyone! Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications.